Welcome back to Velsheen Rule. The anti-vaccination movement is growing, and more children are getting sick, really sick, due to a new wave of conspiracy theories that have been shared through social media. Why does that matter? Well, currently in Clark County, Washington, an area known as anti-vax hotspot, there are now 64 confirmed cases of the measles. Of those, 56 were not immunized and 6 are unverified. And measles is an extremely contagious, even deadly disease. In an effort to tackle the recent measles outbreak, Clark County's health director is spreading awareness about the dangers of online vaccine misinformation, warning it can all seem, quote, pretty sophisticated. The option to not vaccinate can be pretty simple. In a large majority of the country, Washington and 16 other states allow parents by law to opt out of vaccinating their children on grounds of personal beliefs. The anti-vax movement is not new, dating all the way back to the 18th century. But the most recent pushback stems from a fear that vaccines are connected to autism. This is a myth that has been debunked by many scientific studies. Now health experts across the country are demanding stronger legislation and a wake-up call, calling the movement a crisis as more and more kids are left at risk. But tackling the issue will take more than help from the Hill. The spread of anti-vax propaganda is a feat that all the tech giants are currently battling. The question is, are they doing enough? So far, Pinterest has made the most serious effort, blocking search results for the word vaccine altogether. Joining me now, NBC News senior business reporter Ben Popkin. Okay, it's great that Pinterest is taking this seriously, but I kind of feel like Pinterest is the least of our worries. What's Facebook doing? What's Twitter doing?
Right. Each of the different tech platforms have their own approach to this this idea, and the problem is the anti-vax idea. Ideas can be viruses too, and this is an idea that is contagious and can literally physically harm people, and so things need to be done to stop it. And so what the platforms are trying to do, they're trying to address things without getting into the free speech problem. They want to try to do things from the margins. Facebook says they've taken steps, knows it has more. Google has systems in place for sort of prioritizing. Facebook says they're going to kind of lower how much it shows it, and Twitter says they want to make sure that there's a balance of information. People can get both pro-vax and anti-vax information, I guess. But these are facts. These are scientific facts. There should not be a debate about facts. And the problem is that these platforms, they're exposing people to information that can really harm them. They're operating as recruiting platforms. Once you type in, for instance, I typed in vaccine into the top of the Facebook search bar, and 5 of the top 8 results that I got all seem to be pretty problematic to me. This means if you start going there just looking for something, it guides you to what people are calling a wormhole or a black hole. These algorithmic recommendations by the platforms, they say, oh, you like this one thing? I'm going to give you 20 different versions of it, and things that our data shows me are slightly more interesting or extreme or draw you in. And what that's drawing people down is to these conspiracy black holes, and can end up with kids sick or
But what's
worse.
the root of it and why? We've got here one example, a community Facebook page called Stop Mandatory Vaccination. Mm-hmm. It's liked by over 127,000 people. Who would be behind a movement like this? If what I said earlier is true, you've got scientific study after scientific study that's already busted this myth that it could cause autism. Who's driving this and why?
Well, there's some self-described activists, concerned parents, and the problem is they're not just spreading this misinformation, they're also making money off of it. There's a sort of a dark back end to these, where these groups, they're not just saying, we're going to protect kids, they're also saying, buy my herbal remedies instead of buying vaccines. Support the cause by buying my t-shirts. And so when you're letting spam marketers spam market anti-vax information, we need to crack down. We all agree, stop spam. Spam is bad. Why don't we stop spam that could actually end up with kids in the hospital?
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there, and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.